for all of you today. And I don't know why I lost the cover photo with this, but again, this is behind the scenes in business with YouTube. What vibrational alignment actually means is what I decided to title this video, Shameless Squad. I'm just kind of looking at my computer because it's actually really annoying when you do everything and then like the, cover photo doesn't pop up. So please forgive me. I want to talk about what vibrational alignment actually means though, right off the bat. If you're new, what up? I'm Shamelessly Sexy Jackie Boo. I am recording this on Tuesday, September 26th, before this major eclipse energy happens over this weekend, babies. So I just want to make sure that you like, subscribe to this video. I have an all 12 signs tarot read that'll be coming out. I do need to timestamp it. I did all that yesterday. If you didn't watch my last stream and you just kind of want to know what does it take to be your own business owner, your own YouTuber, do all these things, then I highly recommend you go back and watch it and just support me by watching it. And there's some different tricks and tips in there too that I talk about when it comes to manifestation, boo. But Shameless Squad. This morning, I have been flowing. I have been playing and slaying and just being in my energy. So basically, what I had been listening to was the Law of Attraction book by, I think, Esther Hicks and Jerry something. Some of you maybe have said it or read it, but it was the one all about like money and health specifically. I know that they have a couple different books here overall, but it's the one with like a gray cover. If I could show you on my phone, I would, but I can't. Or like the yellow color here specifically, and and like the blue writing. So anyway, what they were talking about today was they talk a lot about health and they talk a lot about money. And I felt like it was important for me to hop on here because with the full moon, or not the full moon, the eclipse this weekend here, the solar eclipse specifically, or lunar, I don't know. I keep like saying all the different things. I'm in my head, Virgo energy, okay? But what they were saying in this Law of Attraction book in regards of health was the chapter today, is that it really talked about how, sometimes when we go to doctors or certain things that they are actually trying to look for some sort of problem and be able to prescribe something or have some sort of prescription. And it was very interesting, or to try to figure out like what's going on and wrong with health and wellness or whatever. And it was so interesting that I decided to listen to this book now. It was written in 2008. I've read a lot of books on Law of Attraction, like The Secret, the last Law of Attraction book that you'll ever need here. But they were talking about just the basic definition of what vibrational alignment actually means is making sure that you are creating like happiness, happier thought forms, happier versions of yourself, and paying attention to your body and your energy centers, which I really actually liked that perspective because they discussed that. And I know some people won't agree with this, and that's fine. You do you at the end of the day. That a lot of doctors will find certain health problems and issues and then want to be able to do all these different tests and run it all back and stuff and gain clarity. And then they talked about, well, listen to your body. When you feel burnt out, when you feel tired, when you feel restless, when you feel like you need a break, when you feel like you need to slow down, when you feel like you need to meditate, use crystals, go to yoga, be in silence, turn screens off, get off your phone, when you feel like you need to get back into nature, when you feel like you really need to nurture yourself, pay attention to those cues in your body before it manifests as disease later. And I thought that was a very interesting perspective, and I thought it was interesting that I'm listening to this chapter right now before I record the all 12 signs astrology read that I will be posting later when it comes to the eclipse this weekend. I've got a tarot read for all 12 signs as well as an astrology reading that I'm going to be recording today. And we have the South Node in Virgo energy and this Pisces North Node energy where this book is talking a lot around health and wellness and how we need to be in energetic alignment with ourselves, and that vibration is energy, and that emotion is energy, or emotions are energy and emotion, right? Or in motion. And it's just super fascinating because of how we don't get taught this, how a lot of people think, oh my gosh, well, I have this disease or this runs in my family or whatever. And you have to be conscious to change those thought patterns and vibrations. And they were talking about how the power of thinking and how you're feeling is truly the biggest indicator of a good bill of health. And I was like, that just makes so much sense because I've been reading a lot of different things lately that in the future, and some of y'all might think I'm nuts and I don't care, that hospitals are going to be obsolete, that we are going to be in this time of learning how to heal ourselves, how to heal our energy, so that way we don't manifest disease or certain things. And it's going to be this rise of spiritual healers. And there was a big influencer. What's her name? I'll have to look, but I follow her on YouTube here. I found her on YouTube. She randomly came in my algorithm. Lisa Alexandra, love her work. She talks a lot about feminine energy. She talks a lot about alignment. She talks a lot about spiritual wellness here too. And she wrote up some posts today about like the year of 2027 is actually going to be the time when spiritual healers actually get acknowledged and people are going to be seeking them out more. Let me see if I can pull up the post here, but this is her profile. I love her. She's amazing. She's got over like 800K views here. I have me in the background just to make sure that the volume and the voice all works here too. So she has this post specifically, and it says, in 2027, this will be the year where all light bearers will get massive recognition, and has woken up to the point where the quantum world is finally recognized as a reality by mainstream and not woo-woo. By now, many are realizing that we are in a massive spiritual war with good and evil, and that we live in a spiritual world. Some of us can sense it and feel it while others can't, but some of us have been awake for a decade, have either been called crazy and been waiting for the collective to catch up, but either way, it's unfolding by God's source universe design here, and it needs to be distributed. And this is why spiritual entrepreneurs need to rise now ever than before, because wealth needs to be distributed into the hands of the righteous. Because when you carry wealth and have freedom, you oftentimes, or you have options in times of crisis, and you no longer need to follow that control system. It's never been easier. Take your freedom back before it's too late. God is raising his army, universe, whatever. And then says, success isn't hard, but success takes courage. And most people will always choose comfort over courage. And that's why most people will never experience the success they dream of. It's not that they're not capable, it's that they lack the courage to actually do it. And then she also talked about, in her post, I think she wrote something up about, maybe it was her, maybe it was another post that I was like looking at and watching, but she was talking specifically about how, you know, it's time in the future for people to stop using people in business, to stop making money off of people, and for people to actually start working for themselves here specifically. And so I feel like this literally just connects to the astrology of everything and to this Virgonian energy of like what we need to forego in order what we can really foresee in the future, with all of this, and like moving things into this next era here specifically overall. And really it's hard to be in alignment because you have to catch yourselves a lot, right? Like be that in love, be that in health, be that in money, be that in relationships, be that in the relationship with yourself here. And so that's a huge one that I am working on like every single day, Shameless Squad. And I'm not saying this because I'm better or I'm always working on this. Like, no, like it is a hard thing to do, and like we can do hard things. And what's harder is not following your true purpose and then manifesting disease and burning yourself out and working for someone else here. And it's just that book as well, The Law of Attraction with Esther Hicks and everyone in it, and all the great authors and writers out there. It's just so fascinating to me to listen to all of that. And, you know, there's a lot of questions about like, well, can babies manifest disease if they came in with this illness? Can people at this age heal themselves this way? Can they do this and that? And there's literally so much information and evidence and proof within that. And they're like, well, what about, you know, if you go and you get a flu shot? Well, it's like, okay, then you're just describing to the belief that you are not going to attract that disease then. So when you feel like it's working for you, but then you could also be susceptible to anything that's in it, specifically with vaccines. So it's kind of one of these things here overall. And I'm just discussing some of this stuff to really share with all of you, like, this is something where you're going to see this in the future with this eclipse. And I feel like it's starting now, but it probably won't come to fruition for a lot of people, like Lisa Alexandra said, until 2027, where people are actually like, what? And just kind of shock and awe and surprises here. But there's going to be a lot of holistic healing. There's going to be a lot of different things specifically with this. And this is something to energetically make sure you're always working on yourself, or being in alignment on these things with your feelings, and trusting your body and trusting what's coming up for you, and not telling yourself a negative story, because this also discussed in this book about like repainting the narrative, repainting the picture, repainting these things of what you do want, and trying to catch yourself as best as you can when you're saying, I don't want this, okay? And then I know some other people, I think, who's the other gal I follow? She talked about, like, you know, depending on what you believe in with the law of attraction and all the things. I talk about her channel a lot too. High Frequency Babe, I think is her channel, High Frequency Guru. She talks about how, like, well, Eckhart Tolle has, you know, taught things of like, no, like, just because law of attraction says like, I don't want this, and then this manifests, that can be true for some people, unless you are so confident and assured, meaning you're not saying that from fear, you're saying that from faith. Like, I know that I'm healthy. I don't get disease. Like, I never get sick. Right? Like, that's different with how you speak to yourself and how you feel here. And so it's really dependent on what you believe in, but vibrational alignment can also mean being in flow and not forcing anything as well. So I felt like this could have been like a good video at the beginning to just talk about some of these things. You know, law of attraction is really great to learn. It's really great to understand. Law of assumption, I know a lot of tarot readers will use it too. I know a lot of people will use it in just spirituality as well, just assuming things that'll go good, or just knowing that it'll happen. Gratitude, of course, scripting, all these different types of different manifestation techniques are true. And sometimes we don't realize that we are consciously always creating and manifesting. And so that's the thing where we have to be so in alignment with what we do want because of that 95% subconscious programming. 5% of the time we only realize that we are consciously doing these things. So it's important to slow down, ground our energies, heal ourselves, and become more mindful with this in the rat race of society and the world that we're living in today. And I know that the energies are harsh. I have a download for all of you to share eventually with the collective readings here, and I'm gonna take my time and not force anything, because I know that I weave my own face. I know that I'm in charge of my own destiny, and I know that my channel here is going to be one where people, you know, give me that grace and that patience too, and vice versa when it comes to all these things here. So I just want to say, if you're feeling out of alignment, if you feel like you want to be able to heal or work on some of these things, or you are doing these things, I just want to say I'm proud of you. When it comes to spiritual healers specifically that are really holding space and helping people heal and helping them do this work, like, I appreciate you. I'm grateful for you. I love you. I feel like you're a part of my team here on earth, whether or not we even know each other, but I'm just glad that you do this work. And for those that are living in alignment with the types of services that they want to do, be, have, give, or step into in the future, like, just know that I'm proud of you. With all this as well, I know that this is a lot of information on just like wellness, and I know a lot of people may or may not believe this, and I don't care. You can listen to the book yourself, you can read the book yourself, you can look at other stuff yourself, and I have another written up thing that I'll share in my community board later. I don't know, we'll kind of see, but it's all about how, you know, magic are your words. You're always spell casting too. If you wish on 11/11, that's magic. If you blow out a candle on your birthday, that's magic. If you say something, that's magic. Literally, your words cast spells, whether or not you realize it, and you create as you speak. And anything that gives you, you know, relief, happiness, joy, love, abundance, money, good health, wellness, prosperity, whatever it might be, you're literally creating magic and you're literally magical. So a lot of people get afraid of that word. A lot of people misuse that word. Society has misrepresented those practices here as well. So I just want to be mindful of that because that's an important thing to be aware of when you're thinking about this. I also saw another post and it was by like Buddhism page on Facebook, and it talked about how like, oh, the things that we thought would make us happy but doesn't. It was like a college degree, a car, a big fancy house, um, all this different stuff. And then like it talked about, but then when we actually realize these are the things that make us happy is freedom of our time, working for ourselves, being able to be in a job that we love versus a career that we hate or someone else. I was just like, wow, so many signs, synchronicities. So maybe you're seeing them too. But Shameless Squad, I am going to just stream. This is what I'm going to do today. I'm just going to stream. I'm going to go live. You'll see behind the scenes of business. I actually want to set up my new moon video. New moon, oh my god, the eclipse video. Also, I like couldn't decide what to wear today, so if you are just like all over the place with your thoughts, know that that's normal. It's Virgo season. We're at the end of the moon phases here, and it's just like you may want to cleanse, purge, release stuff, get rid of stuff, clean your house. Like I literally want to clean stuff so bad, and I want to have some really good spiritual hygiene. So I'm going to be recording all 12 signs astrology video. If you are not, please definitely smash the subscribe button. I would appreciate it. Watch some of the videos, see how I am, who I am. If you are new, I would appreciate that, boo. I'm going to be doing some stuff with memberships soon in the future here. So thank you to my first subscriber, Barb. I love you. You're amazing here. So definitely consider joining my memberships. I'll do a whole nother live on that later, a video on that later, because I think in the future my lives might just be this, where I just kind of pop on, talk about whatever, and then I potentially just show you behind the scenes of business, because it is a lot of work and it is a lot of energy, but it also is something where I don't feel like it's my work, it's my play, and it feels like alignment to me. But I'm thinking about having a cute background, moving this, you know, I called it my like emperor chair this morning to my partner, and maybe putting it over there underneath that, just to have the pretty background for this video. So I'm gonna mute myself. You are gonna see me moving some stuff around in the background, and I'm gonna be recording for a little bit here. So anyway, happy co-working, and stick around to see what this is all like for me.